Hello everyone, Squintina here, and today we will be going over my Endwalker setup for Dancer, since I already did Bard and Machinist. You will of course see some similarities to those other two jobs. First, we will talk about the left side of the primary cross hotbar. We've got some role actions with Head Graze, Foot Graze, and Peloton, whose placements were already decided on Bard and Machinist. We also have Technical Step and Standard Step. This will start us off on our opener. On the right side, we have our main GCDs, and those are also the buttons that become dance steps. It goes Cascade, Fountainfall for our basic combo, and Cascade to reverse Cascade for the other combo. You will notice that on both the right and the left are Fan Dance and Fan Dance 3. This gives you weaving freedom to prevent overcapping. Before I talk about the bar up top, we will need to go into the expanded. This is reached by pressing left and right, or right and left, together. I keep them the same regardless of order. We still need access to our dance steps, and the order they're in matches the same order as the equivalent single target actions on the primary. Unlike the primary, Standard Step and Technical Step are on the D-pad, since our action buttons are all used up. We have Fan Dance 2 and 3 in the equivalent spots. That does mean that we're still missing Saber Dance and Fan Dance 4. For those, we will go in the double cross hotbar. This is reached by double tapping, and I will show how to configure this later in the video in the configuration section. On the right side, we have En Avant, where I normally put jump ahead actions. Flourish is on our resource management spot. Saber Dance is here in addition to its spot on the primary. If you're doing AoE, you will likely go into the double cross hotbar. If you're doing single target, you have a choice, either the double cross hotbar or the primary. On the D-pad, we have our party mitigation, where I normally have them. Shield Samba is in the same location as many other jobs' 10% party mitigation, and Improvisation is more of a heal, but it's in the other party utility spot. Arm's Length goes where we always have the anti-knockback, and so that leaves only one spot for Devilment. On the left side of the double cross hotbar, we have role actions again for Leg Raise and Second Wind. I also mentioned in the other two range jobs that Leg Raise and Foot Graze are not next to each other, so that we can more easily remember which is which. Because Foot Graze is a bind and Head Graze is an interrupt, so they both stop something, and so they are the primary. Meanwhile, Leg Raise is more of a heavy, and I need it to be separate so I can remember which one is which. We also have our Limit Break and our consumables. Feel free to use any of the remaining slots for your tinctures. Last but not least, we have Curing Waltz and Fan Dance 4. Fan Dance 4 is on the left side, but that should not be an issue even though my builds favor the right side, since you know that it's available after using Flourish, so generally you don't really need to look at it to know it's available. Being on the double cross hotbar makes it accessible to both single target and AoE. However, if you do not like its placement, you can choose to add it to the D-pad as well, so you have an alternate location when you are doing single target rotation, though considering that it's often used after Talana, which is a transformation of Technical Step, I think it's actually smoother to use a double cross hotbar since it's otherwise on the same button. We also have Closed Position, our party member tether, and it's all the way on the left where I consider it to be the least accessible, so hopefully you are not accidentally hitting it. Sprint is on the macro on the right click-in button. I have it dragged to a regular hotbar for visibility, which you can do either via mouse or by using the virtual mouse or touchpad. Okay, the explanation is done. Here is how to set this up. Character configuration, hotbar settings, cross. Then, custom, settings for the expanded, I use set 2. Settings for the double tap, I use set 3. System configuration, gamepad settings, button configuration, macro number 99. So we go to our user macros, individual, last one is 99 for the sprint macro. And just to show the setup again, primary on the right, primary on the left, double cross hotbar on the right, double cross hotbar on the left, expanded. If you are using the same settings that I am, you can utilize the macros in the description to set this up automatically. I also like for my gauge to be in the center. Anyway, that is my setup. As always, feel free to change anything as needed. I am not you, and it's okay to just use this as an inspiration. Before I sign off, do hit that like button, and I always appreciate a comment here and there to let me know your thoughts. I will see you all for the next one. Bye bye.